Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. I don't know why I paused on that one, but anyway, I was deep in thought. But folks, get your popcorn ready because we're in for a rough ride when it comes to cybercrime this year. The latest scam is AI voice cloning cyber attacks that are occurring. That's right. Imagine this scenario that you get a voice call from someone or even a voicemail. It's a message from a family member that says they're in deep trouble and they need help and they need your money. Now, most instances, if you were to hear something like this, you would immediately act and do whatever it takes to help save your family member. The challenge is that you can't always rely on that frantic phone call because it could be a cyber criminal who is mimicking the voice of your loved one. Doesn't matter if it's a son, parent, spouse, or even a cousin that is calling. Behind that voice could be a criminal typing out or mimicking your loved one's voice, trying to get money out of you. Now, you have to understand why we are at the level of voice AI cloning when it comes to cyber crimes. Now, I've always said for at least the past 7 or 8 years, cybercrime is a human problem and always will be. It is because criminals are no longer attacking devices. So your smartphones, your tablets, and your other tech devices are completely safe or mostly safe from cyber attacks because we're all behind firewalls. Our devices have firewalls, which makes it very difficult for criminals to get into your devices. So they turn to the next best thing as far as getting into devices, and that is tricking ourselves or humans into giving up our information. It's a lot easier to obtain information from someone because if a criminal were to hack in a device, and let's say it's a device from an older adult, what are they going to get? In most instances, it's going to be games, it's going to be maybe some voicemail messages, and the occasional email with non sensitive data. So it makes it difficult to spend a lot of hours hacking the device only to get information that isn't vital to their mission, which is to steal our data. So, with attacks being more socially engineered, which means that our criminals are preying on our fears and our desires in order to get our important information. And that leads to the next step of this evolution, which is voice cloning, cyber attacks. And it's pretty easy to do now that AI is popular and in full swing. So let's take a look at some of the tools that can be used and maybe some tips to kind of help you stay safe from the criminals out there. So let's switch from me to a desktop computer and obviously ChatGPT and its Bing equivalent ChatGPT 4 are can be used as a major tool for criminals to get access to information. All it takes is a cyber criminal going into something like ChatGPT, entering in a prompt as far as creating the right script for a criminal to con you, and then it's just a matter of transforming that text into message that can trick you with voice cloning. Now, to give you an idea how voice cloning is set up, machine-based AI is set up to translate from one language to the next. So let's take a look at, I forget the name of this program. Oh, it's Val XE or EX, I'm sorry. Let's take a look at it and see. So here's a brief description of what it can do as far as speaking foreign languages with your own voice. Now, I haven't signed up for anything, but here's a sample of what can happen. Let's take a listen.
冰雪运动是体育产业的重要组成部分。
Now, as you can see here, this is the Chinese translation of the first sentence in this message. Now, let's say I wanted to scam somebody in Chinese. I could go back to Valex, and here would be the following.
Look a little closer, while our guide lets the light of his lamp fall upon the black wall at your side.
Right. So, what's interesting with this is that you can even scroll down a little bit to get an idea of what the translation from Chinese text, well, Chinese to English, I think it is Chinese to English. Let's take a look before I get more confused.
One day when I rode over to the Shimerdas, I found Antonia starting off on foot for Russian Peter's house to borrow a spade Ambrose needed.
So with that sample, we can hear what the Chinese text would be to English. Now let's hear it again, and then I'll show you how deep it can go.
坚持房地产调控政策不动摇。
Now with that, that's the from Chinese to English and English to Chinese. So that gives you a little idea how the AI can work as far as text is concerned. Now, let's go to resymbol.ai, which will allow you to actually type in the text that has been created that you can use for AI. So let's go to my voice first that I pre-recorded to give the software the permission to use my voice. And here goes. My voice. The goal is to create synthetic voices that sound just like me with a few seconds of audio. Generated content can be used for videos, audiobook narration, YouTube, games, and much more. Now I switched back to me because I wanted to show that I was not talking. Now let's go to the text that criminals could use in order to make it sound like you're talking. Ready? Let's do it.
Let's go to the lobby and buy ourselves a snack.
And as you can see, I did not say that message, but it was typed out. So let's do a quick example of how easy it is to generate speech. So I am going to type in something I would never say. If I could spell, there. So let's generate. And it takes it a few seconds to generate. So as you can see down at the bottom, it says getting ready to synthesize. But you have to remember that these tools that I'm going to are free and that any criminal can go to websites like resymbol.ai and ValEx to at least take a look at the AI and make it work. Now let's go back to our desktop and see exactly what we've got going on. I would never say this sentence, but here goes.
I like grasshoppers. They make great pets.
And as you can see, I'll play it again so that you know it's not me talking.
I like grasshoppers. They make great pets.
And that's all it takes for a criminal to synthesize your voice. Now, if a cyber criminal were to get access to it, what they could do is try to put together a sentence structure or try to keep you panicking and talking while they're scamming you out of your money. So again, I could do this. There we go. And then let's generate it. And let's give it a few seconds to cook, so to speak. And then it will generate a text message that I said in my own voice. Pretty fun to play with, but pretty scary if a criminal gets access to that stuff. And just keep in mind that they only need a few seconds of dialogue from you in order for this software to work. As you can see from my previous deal here, didn't take that long to make this happen. So now if a criminal were to make this work, this was what they would do.
Hey Mom, I need help.
And as you can see, it uses pronunciation and it will change the voice tone to make it seem like it is coming from me. So that's the pretty scary thing about it. So another thing that you could use to do voice to AI would be this tool called Prime Voice AI, and it will allow you to type in anything. It says 11 lets you type in your voice, blah blah blah. So let's go, give me an idea, and then let's.
This is the whole point of technology. It creates an appetite for immortality on the one hand. It threatens universal extinction on the other. Technology is lust removed from nature.
Right, and so for example, just like the Resemble AI that I used, I had to look at the monitor to make sure I was looking at the right thing. It can easily translate text into voice, and it allows criminals, if they've got access to your voice, to say whatever they want to say in order to create panic with a family member. So that means that you need to start being a little vigilant of the information that you say online. Example, if a criminal calls and wants to get a voice recording of you, the old "don't say yes" message, be careful who you talk to, because criminals can definitely record your voice. If it's an unknown number, don't answer, or wait for the person to respond first to see if it's you. Like most people would say, "Hey, are you there? Hello?" And if you don't recognize the voice, just hang up. Other snippets of your voice can be captured from your social media videos, so beware of what you're sharing video wise online. Now, let's talk about tips in order to help you stay safe from these cyber criminals out there. So, the first tip would be to start locking down your social media accounts so that it's only friends of friends or friends, meaning that only your friends or people that you're connected to can see what's going on with your social media accounts and take pictures and voice messages from you. Make sure that you are not sharing your cellular number is another tip, because criminals can actually get your cellular number, log into your provider by just using your number and other personal information they may have gathered about you on the dark web, and then get access to your voicemail messages and, of course, your voicemail greeting that you've made. If they have access to that information, they could mimic your voice. So keep in mind that smartphone numbers should only be shared with close family members. Everyone else in the world, you need to create a WhatsApp account or a Google Voice account to keep criminals from accessing your cellular number. Also, make sure that you're creating a PIN number for your cellular account, whether it be with the big three, AT&T, Verizon, or T-Mobile. Another tip that you can do is with family members, if your number is still floating around out there and you've noticed an increase in spam calls, is to create a safe word that you would use in order to thwart criminals from getting access to you and tricking you with information. Let's say if someone calls and says that they're out of town, then you need to verify with a voice code or a keyword to keep people from knowing or tricking you. So, for example, you could use, say, the phrase thunder and flash, or a combination of thunder and lightning, so that people will know the phrase in order to know that it's you that's talking on the other end as opposed to some criminal that's out there. And then finally, just use common sense. Well, let's take a step back before we say use common sense. If you're on the road and on the go, you need to share that not only on the internet when you are chatting with people, but you also need to share that with your family members. If you're traveling abroad or domestically, let people know where you are so that people can be informed if a criminal calls you to say, "Hey, I'm in trouble," and they use your voice. But then finally, use common sense, because a lot of times you can ask or have a conversation with someone, and if it sounds too good to be true, then you definitely don't want to fall for that scam. So keep that in mind, because cyber threats are going to increase as far as complexity. And with all of these voice cloning scams that are going around, it could be criminals calling you as opposed to a close friend. So with that said, if you've got comments or questions, leave them in the comments section below. Would love to hear from you to find out if I can help you avoid some of these voice cloning scams out there. Trust me, they're not going away, so you better educate yourself and keep yourself safe. Now, if you know anybody who needs help with voice scams, be sure to comment, like, and share this video, because it ain't going away. And of course, there's nothing wrong with more people seeing my videos, because I think I do a pretty good darn job when it comes to this stuff. So my goal with these videos is to help you get more from the technology that you use at home and at work. I love technology. I've read all the manuals, and I'm serious about making technology fun, safe, and easy to use for everyone. So take care of yourself and do many things that make you smile. Watch out for voice scams, and thanks for watching.